Respected friends, let us continue our regular daily habit of saluting and invoking the grace of Shruti Mata in the form of Shruti Smriti Purana Idihasa, requesting her to be in our life continuously so much that we are exhaustively clear about everything to be known and to be done. Let us salute the Guru Parampara with full gratitude and surrenders and commitment and pratigna that we will be obedient, loyal, sincere to them so that what they teach we practice in our own interest. Let us salute the Ishvara with all his expressions as various devatas again with the gratitude that they are there to empower us, equip us, enliven us, and give us the opportunity to reach to the highest. Salutations again to Parabrahma Paramatma, requesting him to reveal the Sesha Atma Vivrunute Tanum Swam Yameva Eshaha Vrunute. To whomever he chooses, to him he reveals. Is the sentence of Upanishad. Knowing that, we request that Parabrahma Paramatma to reveal to us in all his infinite glory. Let us cherish each other also by knowing the importance and value of each other. The sadhakas in us, the jignasus in us, the shrotas in us, the mokshus in us. More importantly, the Sat Shishya of the Sat Guru, Sat Bhakta of the Sat Paramatma. May our this journey of being together keep on continuing till the destination is reached without stoppage anywhere en route, without getting distracted for any reason anywhere. Today, before we take up the Upanishadic Adhyayanam, the 2 minutes of discussion is कि once we have exposed ourselves to the Shastra Adhyayanam, that Jnanam gained by us should be used to eliminate the Ajnanam. Then only the meaning for that gained Jnanam. The Shastra Shravana should help us in replacing the wrong values and convictions with the correct values and convictions. Is it happening in us? If we say, answer definitely will be no, because they won't happen by themselves. It is we who have to very specifically, categorically know that this is the wrong knowledge or ignorance and this is a knowledge. So the knowledge should be held, ignorance should be thrown away. Same way, correct values and convictions should be held, should be owned, should be loved, should be taken for practice. And all the wrong values we have, convictions, they have to be thrown away. Then only there is a meaning of studying the Shastras. Then, third one is when we study Shastras and gain the information, knowledge from them, all our wrong emotions and feelings should be replaced by the positive, correct, required, useful feelings and emotions. Will they happen by themselves? If they happen, they would have happened to everyone. Will they happen by the God's grace? Yes, but still, if it is so, it would have happened long back to us and to everyone. Then why they have not happened? Because they don't happen. Then what? We have to make them happen. That is what is the purpose for which we are, as a human being, given the total freedom. Using that freedom or misusing that freedom, when we were entertaining ignorance, entertaining wrong values, wrong convictions, and the wrong emotions and feelings, using that given freedom, we, in our own interest, with the conviction, have to replace that ajnana by jnana, wrong values, convictions by the correct positive ones. So too, what sort of emotions, feelings we have towards what or whom, and what are the consequences of that to me and to that object of our emotion or feeling. Is there bondage? Then it is wrong. Is it helping in the freedom? Then it is right. So all our those inner deeper emotions have to change consciously, isn't it? Our life should be in molding ourselves like that of a painter painting the painted or paint. How he takes the brush and mixes the color paint, holds the canvas with one hand, gives one by one stroke. Then only masterpiece comes. He is pouring himself totally into that painting. Same way, when we pour ourselves totally into the spiritual life, and in that with the knowledge, when we hold properly the canvas of our personality and keep on painting the positive ones, rubbing and brushing the negative, removing them and dusting away the negative one. Positive, when we consciously replace, then we are the masters of our life. Our life is a masterpiece spiritually. In the same way, when we say we are studying Shastras, then all our actions, negative, should be replaced by the positive actions. All our perceptions, detrimental, destructive, should be replaced by the constructive and positive perceptions. This also will not happen by itself. With awareness, knowing the importance of all these positive, need of them, knowing also the loss incurred through the negative, we only consciously, like that farmer in the fields, how he weeds out each of the weed, isn't it? And how he plants each of the plant. It's not just thrown. Carefully digging that place, putting that plant, covering it with the mud. That is how he ensures one by one, one by one. His life is dedicated for it. He is not bothered about anything else in the world. Because of that dedicated, planned effort, his planting leads to such an amount of yield or crop that not only he, but the hundreds others also are fed because of it. If that farmers doesn't work, or they are restless, or they are indisciplined, or in not perfect way doing that farming, nothing yield will come. All of us will be in the drought and in that hunger and thirst suffering. Same way, Mahatmas are not made in a factory or company. Everyone by himself, having studied for Shastra long, long time exclusively, seeing the great characters in those Shastras and their great achievements, more than these two, the processes adopted by them to achieve that, these people, when they work on themselves, as per the inspiration, guidance gained, slowly, steadily, like the womb, fetus grows in the womb, these people also slowly from that caterpillar stage, stage by stage, step by step, to the level of that ready to be delivered child, or like that of a fully blossomed or grown butterfly. He just comes out to be that saintly, and not for anything else, but in that alone there is a fulfillment, there is a joy, there is a sense of accomplishment. So in our life also, these things should happen. For these things to be happening, how much conscious we are supposed to be about our own inner personality, etc. That is why necessarily for few years through various upasana, japa, puja, ityadi, we have to make our antakarana held by us and purified enough, sufficient, qualified for the operation on them. Like patient is made operation worthy, then operated, then made healthy. So too, our equipments are not operation worthy with the positive, because they are not held by us, they are not admitted. Like the patient has to be admitted. Then only one day is kept, all parameters balanced, made operation worthy, then is operated. Same way, the erratic life of non-spirituality, even in that also non-spiritual, what we do at what time, we ourselves are not aware. So totally our life is like a bavander, and like whirlwind only, where it is going, whom it is destroying, or how it is destroying oneself, or at least wasted, unproductive. It's just like that. That is a very lowest childish life of a human being, irrespective of his age and outer worldly positions. Spiritually viewed, our life first has to be taken into our hands, and we should know throughout the day what is happening in it, and then we start making it operation worthy through various upasana ityadi. Once it is so, then as we saw just now, taking the reference of Shastra, like the musicians keep that musical notebook in front and seeing that how he brings out the music from his instruments, like the chemist keeps that earlier made chemical experiments and results as a reference and mixes various things to bring out the precipitate, as the mathematician solves the problem by keeping that formula in front, isn't it? Same way, taking the reference of Shastra Jnana thoroughly studied, we keep on consciously operating on ourselves. It is a continuous process till the highest is accomplished. Patiently, perseveringly, lovingly, with full commitment, without any excitement or any worry or anxiety regarding the time taken for the result. None of these should bother us. Only these three things. We should know what to do, we should know how to prepare ourselves to do, and we should do. And what to do? Japa. Preparation, get up in the morning, take bath, and be fresh. Then sit, do. With the goal in mind through this particular sadhana, what is expected to be achieved. Keep on doing till it happens. So, in this way, the Shastra Jnana should help us in these types of conscious transformations to be brought by ourselves with our effort. While doing all this or trying to do, enemy is our own mind. Be aware of that mind. What way the mind becomes enemy is in all these whatever we want to do, either the mind brings the opposite of them, or it tries to continuously demoralize us with the negative, pessimistic ideas. First one is spirituality is not at all required because in the world with indulgences in these objects by senses, we are happy, pretty. Everything is plenty at our own disposal with full freedom. Nobody to stop us. So, what's the need? From this thought onwards, the other pessimistic ideas of no, no, it is not our mind, it is not required for us. No, we can't do it. In this Kali Yuga, it is impossible. Or what is the need to be so urgent? We can do it later on, toward the end of life, or next life, or after 10 lives. Why hurry? Each of these are the negative thoughts of the mind which demoralize the inspired intellect. So, nip at the bud level, or better is apply the vaccination so that such virus doesn't crop up at all. And the virus not allowing it, the vaccine for it is be committed in these sadhanas without second again thought involved in them. That's it. The day should be spent unaware of anything else other than doing with awareness what sadhana has to be done. So that chance not given for the mind to bring all its weaponry to defeat us. This is a very, very essential thing because with all the knowledge, inspirations gained through listening and study, and even through one's own thinking and contemplation, understanding, yet this powerful enemy mind with all these weapons trained by us only from so many lives and nurtured by us only, knowingly or unknowingly, they trouble us. You know that the Chinese communism itself is a calamity to them now. So much the internally pressures they are feeling for the what do you call the dictator way of ruling. They are restless. Then the terrorism supported by this Pakistan is become a threat to them and their peace. How much violence happening there. So too the religious fanaticism there in the Iran and Iraq and the countries. How much they are troubling them. So too the power mongering of US and all, cheating all countries at their immature level is boomeranging back to them. In India also, the suppression or disrespect given to the Sanatana Dharma values caused such a downgradation of our country. Now, luckily, we are again recognizing the value of it and standing special in the world with our own Indian way of life of culture, tradition, slowly being appreciated by even the enemy countries. The China and all of them started appreciating our policies Indian within also and the international foreign also. So systematic, so beautiful. So in coordination, coalition, cordially with the interest of the whole world's growth. You know that when we really that way do great, the country grows. The example we gave only to say that we only have trained our own mind in that manner, knowingly, unknowingly, for small little temporary pleasures, etc. We have to be aware of it, we have to put a check on that. It's a relentless, continuous process. Sometimes we lose, we need not feel that excitement. Sometimes, sorry, grinned, we need not grin about it. Sometimes we may win, we need not be excited about it. The whole life should be in the process to be followed. When that is done, we reach. Now, all these things and much more details and deeper understandings which are required for us to be a pakka sadhaka to reach the siddhi through doing sadhana. May the Lord, the Guru Parampara, the Shruti Mata bestow upon us through this means of our regular study of Shastras, and may we consciously put our effort to become qualified for their blessings. This is in nutshell. We are here together every day, keeping away everything else, doing only the Shastra Adhyanam. May we really, truly, meaningfully grow, progress, and celebrate the doing, celebrate the growing also, not feeling regretted and guilty of not knowing anything, not doing anything, not growing at all. May we not have that. Om, Om, Om. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ ब्रह्मलोकादशेषात् आलोकालोकपर्वतात् ये वसन्ति द्विजा देवाः तेभ्यो नित्यं नमो नमः। ॐ यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ जगतीमवितुं कलिताकृतयो विचरन्ति महामः सच्चलतः अहिमांशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः। वेदव्यासमहर्षये नमः। ऐतरेय महर्षये नमः। आद्यशङ्करमहर्षये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं पुराणेतिहासोक्त भगवद्भागवत ऋषिमुनिगुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रहानुभवप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दव संस्कृतेः शास्त्राणां साम्प्रदायानां भक्तियोगवेदान्तादिसाधनाप्रक्रियाणां गुरुशिष्यभक्तभगवत्परम्पराणां पुनरुत्थान जागरण विश्वव्याप्ति द्वारा विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति द्वारा विश्व शांति कल्याण एकता पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थं ये साधकाः शिष्याः गुरवः आचार्याः संस्थाः आश्रमाः श्रेयोभिलाषिणः परिश्रमिणः अस्मिन् धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये कंकणबद्धाः निष्ठिताः तेषां सर्वेषां पूर्ण उत्साह प्रेरणा आयुरारोग्यैश्वर्य क्षेमस्थैर्य धैर्य वीर्यादि शक्ति संपदा सानुकूलता साधनानां प्राप्ति बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजयार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम मनस्तावतमः शान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभा भाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्। ओम अथ श्रीऋग्वेदान्तर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषद् शान्तिमन्त्रः। ओम वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम्। आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य म आणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः। अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। पारायणम् अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः तृतीयः खण्डः। Om third khanda, first chapter for our chanting. Sa ikshate menu lokascha lokapalascha annam ebhyah sruja iti so apaha abhyatabato tabhyo bhitaptabhyah murtirajayat ya vaisa murtirajayat annam vaitatu tadenat sustam parang tyajigam sat tadvacha jighrukshat तन्नाशक्नोत् वाचाग्रहीतुं स यदैनत् वाचा अग्रहयिष्यत् अविव्याहृत्य हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तत्प्राणेनाजिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् प्राणेन ग्रहीतुं स यदैनत् प्राणेन अग्रहयिष्यत् अभिप्राण्य हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तच्चक्षुषा जिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् चक्षुषा ग्रहीतुं स यदैनच्चक्षुषा अग्रहयिष्यत् दृष्ट्वा हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तच्छ्रोत्रेणाजिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् श्रोत्रेण ग्रहीतुं स यदैनत् श्रोत्रेणाग्रहयिष्यत् श्रुत्वा हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तत् त्वचा अजिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् त्वचा ग्रहीतुं स यदैनत् त्वचा अग्रहयिष्यत् स्पृष्ट्वा हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तन्मनसा जिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् मनसा ग्रहीतुं स यदैनत् मनसा अग्रहयिष्यत् ध्यात्वा हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तत् शिष्णेनाजिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् शिष्णेन ग्रहीतुं स यदैनत् शिष्णेन अग्रहयिष्यत् विसृज्य हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तदपानेनाजिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् तदावयत् सा एषा अन्नस्य ग्रहः यद्वायुः अन्नायुः वा एषः यद्वायुः स ईक्षत कथं नु इदम् अधृते स्यादिति स ईक्षत कतरेण प्रपद्या इति स ईक्षत यदि वाचा अभिव्याहृतं यदि प्राणेनाभिप्राणितं यदि चक्षुषा दृष्टं यदि श्रोत्रेण श्रुतं यदि त्वचा स्पृष्टं यदि मनसा ध्यातं यदि अपानेनाभ्यपानितं यदि शिश्नेन विसृष्टम् अथ कोऽहमिति स एतमेव सीमानं विधार्य एतया द्वारा प्रापद्यत सा एषा विद्रुतिर्नामद्वाः तदेतत् नान्दनं तस्य त्रय आवसथाः त्रयः स्वप्नाः अयमावसथोऽयमावसथोऽयमावसथ इति स जातः भूतानि अभिव्यैख्यतु किमिहान्यं वा वदिशदिति स एतमेव पुरुषं ब्रह्म ततममपश्यत् इदमदर्शमिति तस्मादिदन्द्रो नाम इदन्द्रो ह वै नाम तमिदन्द्रं सन्तम् इन्द्र इति आचक्षते परोक्षेण परोक्षप्रिया इव हि देवाः परोक्षप्रिया इव हि देवाः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Friends, we are into the study of third last chapter of this Aitareya Upanishad. First mantra, कोयमात्मा इति वयम् उपास्महे कतरः स आत्मा येन वा पश्यति येन वा शृणोति येन वा गन्धानाजिघ्रति येन वा वाचं व्याकरोति येन वा स्वादु च विजानाति. On this mantra, through Bhashya, the Spashta Avagahana or understanding, we tried to get. In that, the introductory Bhashya, Bhagavan Adi Shankara spoke to us about the Adunatana Mumukshavaha, Adunatana Viraginaha, Adunatana Jignasavaha. And Viraginaha, because they don't want anymore the Anitya Sadhya Sadhana way of samsara. They want the moksha from this bondage. Therefore, they know the moksha comes in the Atma Anumoti. Therefore, they are into this Atma Jignasa or Brahma Jignasa. They called for a meeting. Then they started discussing. We are doing the upasana of an Atma. Which is this Atma of which we are doing upasana? Point one. Second, Vamadevaji also did the upasana of Atma. Having done the upasana of Atma means identification, he too became mukta, he became realized. Therefore, the Atma which we are doing upasana and then Atman of which Vamadeva did upasana, are they one or are they two? If they are two, which are they? And therefore, which is the one of whom we have to do the upasana for fulfillment of our own mumukshata. So therefore, the jignasa leads to jnanam. Jnanam gives moksha because the bandhana is because of ajnana itself. So they started discussing. While they were that way questioning and answering, discussing, suddenly they remembered what they studied in the past. Luckily, it was formed as samskara. In between, it was not remembered because they were busy in samsara. The need of that knowledge earlier heard or gained, they never felt. Now the time has come, so they remembered. In that remembrance, what they understood was there are two Brahmans in the body of everyone, Pindame. Both of them appear to be the Atman of this body, the Pinda, the self in this Pinda. Both deserve to be. One has entered through the Prapada, from the feet. Who is that? The Indriya or Upadi Atma. Remember that. Other one has entered through the Simanam Vidarya. Who is the one who entered to Simanam Vidarya? Entered and then immediately he has found three avasataha, which now just chanted. We have chanted now in that mantras. Then he started living three avastaha, traya swapnaha. So three avastaha, three swapnaha, or three avasataha, sorry. Three places of stay or abode and three swapnaha, the states of experience. These are the two. Among these two, who can be the Atma? In that inquiry, they came out of the Upadi Tadatmya to the Jiva Tadatmya. Then when they analyze the Jiva Tadatmya, the Jiva also is either not real or not independent. Then in the inquiry, what is the real and independent Atman with which when we identify, we experience the real independence, which is moksha, which is our goal. This is how their deep outer inquiry with each other, when they were giving the answers, the inner subjective search, they were all doing. So that is what is being guided to us by that Shruti Mata. So, evam jignasa purvam anyonyam pruchatam. With jignasa, when they were asking each other, which is the Atma we are worshipping, which is the Atma Vamadeva worshipped and realized. Let us bring both of them in our understanding clearly, then should know which Atma worship binds, which Atma worship liberates. Let us give up worship of the binding Atman. Let us start worshipping the liberating Atman. See, When we study this Upanishad or any Upanishad with Bhashya, slowly, steadily, word by word, sentence by sentence, clarity comes. Only when there is a clarity, we will know what is to be done as sadhana for siddhi or moksha or liberation. So, etat pruchatam atikranta vishesha vishaya shruti samskara janita smrutihi ajayata. The memory came into their awareness. What is a memory? Shruti samskara janita. Vishesha vishaya shruti samskara janita smriti ajayata. So what is that Vishesha Shruti? Vishesha Shruti Samskara Janita. They heard about these things earlier. Atikrant. And the memory was Tam. Tam means Tam Purusham. Tam Purusham means that Pinda Akara. Pinda रूप में जो है उसमें प्रपदाभ्याम प्रापद्यत ब्रह्मा. So tam imam purusham brahma prapadabhyam prapadyata. To that this Purusha Akara Pinda, the Brahma through the Prapada he has entered. Prapadabhyam entered means be attentive. Entered through senses. More specifically, entered as senses. Prapadabhyam means the Pada. Through Pada means one symbol. Pada is a symbol of all other Indriyas. Then other one, another way the Brahman entered. Other Brahman entered. Never mind. Use all this language. Clarity will come slowly. Saha means that Parabrahma. Etameva. Again into the same Purusha he entered. Not from Prapadabhya. But from what? Simanam Vidarya. Now, if we can remember the Bhashya at the time of studying, Simanam Vidaranam and entry. He said, no, I am a Swami. I am not a Sevaka. Now the Sevakas enter through various holes, various gateways of Indriyas. मैं तो स्वामी हूँ तो मैं तो अपने लिए द्वार बना लेता हूँ. Then he made a द्वार सीमानम विदारण करके विदारण किया इसलिए इसका नाम भी विद्रुति दिया. From that he entered. Okay, this is what they remembered, what they heard from their teachers earlier. Then thereafter, therefore, clarity. Be clear. Atra, therefore, in this sharira of ours, dve brahmani. There are two Brahmans. What are they? Itaretara pratikulyena pratipanne iti. They are not anukula to each other. They are absolutely pratikula to each other. The pratikulata is one the knower, other is the known. One is the jada, other is chetana yukta. One is depending on the other is independent of the other. So this is how two opposite natured selves they found in them. What we discussed it as what? Indriya Atma and Jiva Atma. Because the Simana Vidarana Karike immediately occupying the three places started experiencing three Swapnaha. It is Jiva only. And the Prapadabhyam who entered is the Indriyas only. All the 14 faculties and the three avasthas, the Jiva. Then Techasya Pindasya Atma Bhute. So both of them claim to be the Atman of this Pinda, the Deha. And as we said yesterday, I as an independent I can identify with the Indriyas and live as an Indriyatma, living only at that level. I can identify with the Jiva and can live as the Jivatma. When I live as Indriyatma, I forget my subtle identity that मैं जीवात्मा हूँ. Then I become slave to Indriyas. When I identify Jivatma, then I can master the Indriyas. I need not be slave to them. This is a slight difference between being the Indriyatma, being the Jivatma. Te chasya pinda atma bhavate. Now, tayoho among these two, anyataraha atma upasya bhavitum arhati. Either of them, only one of them should be deserving for us to worship as the self. Upasana means identifying with. So, should we identify with the Pindatma, Indriyatma? Should we identify with the Jivatma who entered through Simanam Vidarya? Simanam Vidarya entered also the conditional Brahman only. The pure Brahman is never entered anything, never identified with the three avasthas, nor he is going through three swapnas. He is already the other one. He is our ultimate goal about whom the next mantra will exhaustively discuss. So here the discussion is limited to the two Atmas of the Indriya Deha Atma or the Jivatma. Among these two, which has to be preferred, worshipped, identified as the Atma. यही टॉपिक अभी डिस्कशन चल रहा है. दैट इज वाई यह अत्र उपास्यः कः सः आत्मा इति विशेष निर्धारणार्थम, है ना, टू वेरी स्पेसिफिकली डिसाइड which Atman among these to be worshipped. The specificity, the greatness, the clarity of both of them are discussed. In that, the Indriya being Jada, not independent, they are not taken into account. But then the Jiva who uses Indriyas, acts out his experience, that is what is mentioned. To say that he is special, he deserves to be the Atman. Narayana. So all this as if discussion is happening outside among the students or jignasus, but then the understanding should dawn in each one's their own heart. So I am having my Deha Indriyas and I am the Jiva inside this Deha Indriya. Among these two, with which I have to identify as Atman, Narayana, Om. That discussion that should go on happening in us. This is called contemplation. Narayana, Om. When this way they were discussing, they became more subtler, more calm and quiet to grasp what exactly happening in themselves, everyone. What has they found? Ki yaha atra upasyah kaha. The one who is worthy of worshipping, who is he? Kaha saha atma. Who is that Atman? Iti, in this way, Vishesha Nirdharanartham, for the specific Nirdharana beyond any doubt. Anyonyam, each other, Paprachuhu, asked. In that asking, there is Vicharayantaha, there was inquiry, contemplation going on. When they were doing like this, Punah Tesham Vicharayatam. In this way, when they have taken up the second Vicharana, what happened? What is the first Vicharana? Presence of two Atmas. Dehendriya Atma, Jivatma. Now, second Vicharana is, which is the one among these two? Has to be taken as an Atma. For what purpose? What is its greatness or speciality? That greatness of speciality is called here as the Visheshana. Okay? When the two people come to for interview, if you are the interviewing authority, why do you select one, not the other? Because some Visheshanas are there in him more than the earlier fellow. In the same way, what are the Visheshanas? In whichever the Atman, we have to take as Atma, why it deserves. In that inquiry, पुनः तेषां विचारयतां विशेष विचारण आस्पद विषयामतिः अभूत्. So Vishesha Vicharanaspad Vishayamati Abhut means in that Vicharana, the Visheshanas of the Jivatma are found by them. Matihi Abhut. They become very conscious. So the Jiva is more independent. He is using the Indriyas for his own experiences. Indriyas are only the slaves. They are only the helping things to Jiva. They are not dominant or they are not masters. So this is what Katham. What was their discussion? Then Dve Vastuni Asmin Pinde Upalabhyete. In the first level of the thing, from the Dehendriya Upadhi Sthiti, they have come to the Jiva Sthiti. Now the Jiva's specifications they are discussing. First of all, Dve Vastuni Asmin Pinde Upalabhyete. In this Pinda, Sharira, there are two Atma Vastus that are there found. Naina? What are they? The answer is no. Very interesting point. Very deep thought here. This is where these Upanishads crux. From here onwards, everything is very subtle, very deep. When we fully focus, we will be able to catch. Ki aneka bheda bhinnena karanena yena upalabhate. So, yena karanena upalabhate. That individuality, Atman, karanena upalabhate, is, be attentive, found to be existing through the medium of the karana. And how many karanas are there? Aneka. And how are they bhinna to each other? So the different इंद्रियों के functions के पीछे रहने वाला different one individuality. Per each indriya, one separate atma is found. See how careful, conscious, step by step was their inquiry. Aneka, aneka and bheda, therefore bhinna. Many with differences, therefore different from each other. What are they? Karanas. So aneka bheda bhinnena karanena yena upalabhate. Okay? So the car is moving. By that you know that there is a driver. So the moving car becomes the means for the understanding of the driver in that. 3 cars, 4 lorries, 5 buses are moving. So very many vehicles are moving. That means very many drivers are there. Each one different from each other. Because the need of way of driving each one is different. In the same way, we have 5 Jnanendriya, 5 Karmendriya, 4 Antakarana. So aneka bheda, anekata and bhedata in the karanas we have understood. Now, yena upalabhyeta means what? Because of the each of the karanas functioning, the one who is functioning through them, identifying with them, that Atman is discovered. That way, at this level, the Atma, the selves are many. Okay? This is one. Aneka bheda means what? The listener behind the ears is one. Seer behind the eyes is one. Smeller is different. Taster is different. Toucher is different. This is one Atma that is discovered by them. The Deha Atma they transcended. Indriya Atma they have transcended. Now they have come to Indriyas as Atma they transcended. Now through the Indriyas functioning, they are discovering the Atman now. Each Indriya is functioning differently and obviously the listener is only listener. The seer is a seer. Seer is seeing the seen objects through the eyes. The listener is listening the sounds through the ear. If you conspicuously observe, they are absolutely different from each other. The one who is swimming in the water is different from the one who is flying in the sky or jumping from the helicopter. How can they be same? In the same way, be attentive. The listener is doing listening job through ears. He is totally different individual. like the administrative block, the accounts block, the other block in an office. They are all different. The workers are different, the employees, the work is also different. This way they came for a clear understanding, unambiguous. One is about each of the indriya से function करने वाले many atmans. Second is what? Very interesting. यः च एकः उपलभते. Again, there is one atma also they found inside. Who is that one? Who is be attentive, coordinating all these things and experiencing all of them as his own. Therefore, every इंद्रिय आत्मा एक है, अलग अलग सारे इंद्रियों का अनुभव करने वाला एक है. In their observance, they knew. Then, obviously, the first question is, among these two, the many atmas, because of indriya, is that the atma real, or the one atman who is uniting all of them and saying that I alone am the seer through the eyes and listener through ears? Which is the atma to be meditated upon? Obviously, the second one. He is the real atma. He alone, seated at every indriya, functioning differently. This is the true thing. Not that behind every indriya there is a specific atman. Clear? First they understood हर एक इंद्रिय के पीछे एक एक आत्मा है. Then again when they inquired, they came to know one homogeneous atma. Now what is the difference between atman behind each indriya and the entire coordinating atman? They discovered that the one who is coordinating, he alone is real. And he is the one who is happening or becoming as an atman using at every indriya. Like in driving a car. Steering moving one, clutch pressing one, brakes pressing one, accelerator pressing one. So are there the four atmans? Isn't it? Because while doing each of the work, the worker is different. But is not a coordinating experience happening. There is another atma, and he is the one only who through the steering the road, vehicle through the road. He is the one who, when required, applying the clutches or brakes or the accelerator. Isn't it? So by this what's happening? Other than indriyas, there are so many atmans, and all atmans are one atma only. Therefore, one jivatma through many indriyas functioning in so many ways. In the inquiry of this only, what is the highest thing achieved? Deha Indriya Bhinna Atma's acceptance. Even this jiva is non-seeable, remember. Is only intellectually understandable concept, which is not our goal. Our is further. Abhi aage padhenge. But the acceptance, the presence of the jiva is a great breakthrough. And such a breakthrough it is that if little further we go and say, for the sake of this jiva, all upadhis are there, sharira, indriyadi, and he is given them every life, different ones, and it will be taken also. Therefore, no indriya, no diya is permanent for this jiva. If this additional knowledges, if we gain, all the slavery to the indriyas, all the fears and attachments of the deha, there is a chance of reduction of them. They can go away. Up to a great extent, samsara gets reduced. No, samsara is dukkha. In our yoga darshanam, what is the samsara? Dukkha only. Why the dukkha? Because of something is happening to the upadhis. I am not an upadhi, I am a jiva. When I discover it, then the upadhi dukkha will not be mine. No, to that extent, samsara is reduced. Great breakthrough it is. They have come to the level of one jiva, one individuality, one atman. So, yacha eka upalabhyate, labhate, no? How do we say that one is there? We already discussed. Karana antara upalabdha vishaya smruti pratisandhanat. Karana Indriyas. Karanantara through the Indriyas. Upalabdha obtained. Vishaya the knowledge. Smruti the memory of all of that. Pratisandhana who is doing the pratisandhanam of all of them. There is one individual coordinating all of them and saying, I know all of that. Like a rose is there. The smell of the rose is done by the nose. The color of the rose is seen by the eye. The softness, touch of the rose is done by the skin, the indriya of the sparsha. है कि नहीं? You can eat it, मुंह में लगा लो, कड़वा जो भी होता है, the tongue is telling that. है ना? The कान में लगा के घुमाओ, थोड़ा साउंड आएगा वो रोज का. So rose is one. It's 4 or 5 lakshanas received by 4 atmas behind 4 or 5 indriyas. But do we experience like that, that I am 5 people inside? We always experience that all the 5 experiences are coordinated and told about the rose, that I know what? The smell, taste, touch and look of the rose. Therefore, in this way, because of pratisandhana, we need to accept the presence of one common homogeneous Atman functioning through various indriyas. तो यहाँ तक पहुँच गए. Now, here also they little more further discussed. What is they discussed and all? Though will be told in the next mantra, an idea is given. What it is? Tatra, in this context, na tavat yena upalavate, that one individual by whom the homogeneous experience of all indriya perceptions are found, saha atma bhavitum na arhati. Even this jiva who is coordinating all the experiences, various of the indriyas, and experiencing one homogeneous thing, himself remaining as one individual, ye bhi atma nahi hai. They discussed and they inquired. Because it's also not independent. Even to come to the level of this jiva is a great achievement. A calm and quiet and meditative minded alone can come to that level. But jiva also is having so many limitations. He is not independent. From somewhere else, be attentive. He is getting the capacity to know through all the indriyas the experiences of the Vishaya Vastus. Then that one, because of whose presence, even this jiva is also, let us specify it, getting that ability to perceive, enlightenment to perceive, chetana in him to perceive, through the senses and come to that homogeneous experience. That must be the Atma. This is a discussion in the next shloka. Here, in the last para, what is done is this jiva's perceptions are told only to say that these are his perceptions. Through them, specifically what he is known, what he is, that will be understood. Yet he is not the self. So, Karana Antara Upalabdha Vishaya Smriti Pratisandhanat, we have understood the presence of one homogeneous self. Then Tatra na tavat yena upalabhate sa atma bhavitum arhati. Therefore, this also who is perceiving all the perceptions and coordinating them and saying that ये सारे मेरा अनुभव है या मैं हूँ सबका शब्द स्पर्श जानने वाला, he also is not Atman. Who is he is said only the details. Then who is real Atma will be touched in next shloka. कि केनः पुनः उपलभते इति उच्यते. Who is the one by whom each of the things are perceived homogeneously is said. What is that? Yenava chakshuhu bhutena rupam Bhashya. He who by becoming the chakshu sees the forms. The word to be underlined is bhutena. Bhutena means bankar. Yenava, that one, that jiva by whom chakshu bhutena, himself by becoming the chakshurindriya, rupam pashyati. Now, these all things will come in yoga darshanam after some time. Same way, yenava shrunoti shrotra bhutena shabdam. he himself by becoming the Shrotrendriya listens the sound. So to Yenava Grana Bhutena, himself by becoming the nostrils or the Indriya of the smell, Gandhana Ajigrati. He is the one smells the smells. Yenava that by one by which Vak Karna Bhutena, by becoming the Vag Indriya, Vacham, speech. What is that? Namatmikam, which generally names everything. Vyakaroti, does. By becoming the speech Karmendriya, he becomes the speaker. Like what he speaks, Gauhu Ashvaha iti. When you show two animals to him, he through the eye sees those two animals, and through the mouth he says, this is what is cow, this is what is horse. The same way, sadhu asadu iti, iti evam adhyam sadhu asadu iti. In this, the cow is sadhu jantu, and the less sadhu is the ashva ityadi. He just makes statements or feelings inside. Same way, yenava, that one by whom jihva bhutena, who by becoming the tongue, swaducha aswaducha vijanati. Tasty and non-tasty food, who knows it. In this way, the jiva through indriyas experiencing the objects. This jiva also is not Atman. Who is enlivening this jiva in me, he is the real Atman. That will be the subject in the next discussion, next shloka. Just we'll do the Sambandha Bhashya and chant the mantra. Tomorrow we thoroughly study that. Kim punaha tat eva ekam anekadha bhinnam karanam iti uchyate. Who is the one who, being one, through the process be attentive of? Meditation in the mind, through the indriyas, is becoming many, to experience many, and yet coordinate all of them to be experienced by one individual. Who is that? So, in this next mantra, pure Atman in the heart itself becomes mind, in that mind reflection of consciousness, becoming knower through the Indriyas. He knows everything. That subject is discussed. We'll slowly, steadily with Bhashya study tomorrow. Now do the mantra Charana. Yadetat Hrudayam Manaha cha etatu Samjnanam Ajnanam Vijnanam Prajnanam Medha Drushtihi Dhrutihi Matihi Manisha Jyotihi Smrutihi Sankalpaha Kratuhu Asuhu Kamaha Vashaha iti sarvani eva etani prajnanasya namadeyani bhavanti. Wow, perfect, beautiful discussion. So here one is pure consciousness. Second is pure consciousness reflecting in the aham. Third, that reflected aham is given mana buddhi chitta. Four, that reflected aham, which is now the jiva, through mana buddhi chitta, through its the modification of this mana buddhi chitta, he experiences so many things. In this shloka, the mana buddhi chitta modifications are mentioned. And why they have happened? Because through indriyas the world is seen. Like a person I have seen. In my vasanas, if that person is my beloved, I have seen that person. In the mind, the prema vritti happens. And the jiva identifies with that mind, becomes premi, and then says, welcome, welcome. If in my vasana, the person is my shatru, immediately the krodha vritti comes. Identifying with that, I say, why did he come? I'll send him away or I'll go away from there. These things will be discussed tomorrow. In the discussion, what will happen? Prajnanasya namadhyani bhavanti means what? Beautifully, the prajnana means not the gnapti parabrahma, but the antakarana that alone goes through various modes and modes which are mentioned here. and experiences those modes, which is nothing but samsara. In the pure self, they are not there. That pure self will be told in the next shloka, and in the next shloka, that same one self within me is told to be the self everywhere. So, Deha transcendence, Indriya transcendence, Jiva Bhava transcendence, Atma Darshanam, and Atma Eva Sarvatma or the Brahman. These are the 5 things that are being discussed in this third chapter. In that, we have come up to this level of other than the Indriya Atma behind each Indriya. In fact, one Atma only functioning through all Indriyas. This one Atman also has so many modes of experience because of his subtle Indriyas called Antakarana. Isn't it? Just like behind the ears, the listener, behind the eye, the seer. So too, behind the thought of love, the lover. Thought of anger, the angry person. Isn't this? So many Atmans at the Antakarana level also behind each of the emotion are found. All of them are called Prajna Netra. Means Prajna here is the conscious Jiva. Through his Antakarana, he one only is becoming so many. He is also not real self. Real self is pure consciousness beyond even Antakarana. That's why by saying Prajna Netram, the Prajna is introduced, and for his expression, these are all there, it is told. While saying so, the undue value importance given to the mana, that also is reduced. In fact, consciousness alone, through the process of becoming mind first, is becoming various emotions. But our goal is the conscious self. Therefore, the emotions, emotional root called as the mind, on meditational seat, we have to transcend. These all will be discussed in next 2-3 days. Beautiful topic. Don't miss it. Om, 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 Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramanusibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Om Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you.